created the NTPA Reopening Task Force. This was a council of some 25 professionals, including 4 doctors, 2 legal scholars, professional educators, and representatives of the performing arts to define the rules and protocols for safely retaking the stage. It is my honor to introduce Dr. Jennifer Duewall, who's been a member of the task force since the very beginning.
I'm really happy and honored to be involved because as we're working through this difficult time, I am thankful that my opinion as a medical professional has been asked and that I'm allowed to give my input and be a part of the task force making a recommendation to the governing board of directors. We have had the goal from the beginning to be the leaders in the theater realm of how to approach this in the safest manner. So we want to be the ones that set the standard. We have been meeting weekly to discuss and review the current data regarding spread of SARS-CoV-2 or COVID-19, beginning actually with our mission and vision of NTPA and why are we there. And this is for our kids. We have been methodically going through whatever data is available, which sometimes that data can be an overwhelming amount and it is ever changing, so it's a challenge to really stay up on everything that's coming your way. And then we have individual teams that have been working on their assigned element during the week. So we have team reports, and the medical team is the team that I'm a part of to make recommendations of how to move forward. So it's been very methodical. It's been a lot of hours of work by the entire team, but really we're coming together as a team to really produce basically a guideline that will keep our theater the safest that it can possibly be. So I'm proud to be a part of the NTPA task force. Wearing a mask is an act of compassion and humanity. When you put on your mask, if you have SARS-CoV-2, which is the virus that causes COVID-19, and you don't know it, you can be spreading the virus when you're out and about. And so by putting on that mask, you show compassion for our entire NTPA family. You're spaced, you have social distancing, and you're wearing a mask, and you have frequent hand washing. You stay home when you're sick. That is a low-risk situation. With the task force and at NTPA, we want the lowest risk environment for our students to come to be able to rehearse and perform, for our parents, volunteers, staff, and patrons to come to be able to see our kids perform. We want to take all of the necessary precautions to keep everyone safe and really do the right thing. So we did take the governor's task force recommendations into account, but we want to go above and beyond that and really make recommendations that are consistent with the data that we're seeing that would make our NTPA family the safest. We want to be the leaders in our area in Texas and across the country of how do we do this and really keep it at the lowest risk for those involved that we can. So we are being cautious, we're being methodical. Our intent again is to make this the safest environment we can to enjoy the arts and be able to move forward in this environment that's very uncertain. So we intentionally want to be cautious and leaders in the area. We have to develop some type of new normal and figure out how can we get back to some semblance of our prior lives. And with that, you do accept some risk. So you do accept risk when you're involved in a sporting activity, when you go to work, in the office, when you come into the theater, there is some risk associated with that. But our goal is to make that risk the lowest possible with the protocols we have in place. We need to provide this for our kids. You know, I know that people watching this have kids that are at home and they are struggling. Their anxiety is worse, they may be depressed. Isolation worsens anxiety and depression, and coming to the theater for a lot of those kids, it's an anxiety reliever. Socialization, which our kids need, is important. Even though it looks different, having that group, that family that we have here around, it reduces a lot of stress and anxiety on our kiddos. And you know, we're providing something really meaningful to our kids here at NTPA. So we've got these measures in place, but it allows them to return safely and really start getting those benefits and rewards that they get by being a part of theater and continuing that personal development that we've seen to date, getting that back on track. Because honestly, they need it more now than ever. I know there's a lot of fear and this is uncomfortable, but I think as you take a few steps forward back into a little bit of normalcy, of course the theater looks different, participating looks different, but you take a few steps forward, you start getting more used to this new normal, but some semblance of normalcy for our kids. With some of these activities, such as singing, we just don't really know. So there are concerning case studies that have come out. Most people know about the choir in Washington and have read about that. With that particular scenario, there were a large number of people together in a room, and they did not follow the protocols that we are implementing here at NTPA. You know, they were 6 to 10 inches apart. There were some empty seats between people, but for sure not 6 foot distancing, not masking, and inside singing. So there's a lot of red flags at this point that we can look back and learn from and say, okay, that was a very high risk scenario. So here at NTPA, you know, obviously we are implementing health screenings when you come into the theater, so you get your temperature checked, frequent hand washing, hand sanitizing stations, cleaning protocols, masking, distancing, really everything that we've seen from recommendations from organizations like the CDC of how to reduce your risk of spreading or acquiring SARS-CoV-2. So we have those protocols in place. We are looking at other areas where we can reduce risk, such as singing outside and outdoor venues. With our audience members also, we have seating protocols to keep audience members, groups at least 6 feet apart. So we are putting into place every measure that we know reduces risk of spread or contracting the virus. I think it depends on your own child and their comfort with the protocols. Are they able to comply? Do you feel like they can comply? And then also, of course, you have to look at your own health risk and that of your child. So, you know, we've put all of these procedures in place to keep everyone safe, but of course, if your child is considered high risk because of a medical condition, or you yourself are, or you have someone at home that's considered high risk, well, then that is an assessment you have to make with your own comfort level as to whether this is something that you should attend in person. If you don't intend to attend in person, we absolutely would love for everyone to view our actors, support the theater, support our directors by watching these kids online.
We could not be more grateful and thankful for the guidance of all of our task force members, and particularly those contributions of our 4 doctors, including Dr. Jennifer Duewall, Dr. Candace Addison, Dr. Seth Kaplan, and Dr. Jarethia Tidwell, who have brought their professional experience and insights to our deliberations. The NTPA family can be extraordinarily proud